Jackie, I've started recording, so whenever we're ready.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you, Shannon, for doing that. So we'd like to welcome you to our I Can Do It Effective Classroom Management. We're very glad you are here today to join us. We're going to be starting with some quick introductions. So Shannon, if you could go to the next slide, please. Great. Okay, so my name is Jackie, and I am currently a teacher at Waiahole Elementary. I teach first grade, and every year our principal has been kind of looping us. So I started with K, then in 1, and I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future, but I currently teach first grade. I've taught from K to 6, but my passion, I believe, is the K1 lower grades the best, or that's the ones I love the best. We have 2 other trainers here today, so I'll give them time to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Shannon Eustace. I teach middle school 6th grade science at Iao over here on Maui in Wailuku. And I've been with the DOE for about 23, 24 years. I used to teach high school math over in Lahaina Luna for about 17 years. And so my passion for teaching has been changing as my career has been changing. When I was teaching high school, I loved high school and it was what was right for me at the time. And now that I'm teaching science, 6th grade, I can't picture myself doing that, teaching another class of, of younger kids. So it's just, I love it. It's a wonderful experience. And I'm also love teaching, working with my fellow educators through professional development too. So glad everybody could be here with us on this opportunity. Thank you.
And hi, my name is Christy Miamai. I'm a 7th grade teacher at Mililani Middle, and I've been there for, I think, 20 years now. Started out in elementary as a special ed teacher, switched over to middle school. 7th grade is just such a crazy year, but the kids are just, they're just so much fun, and I wouldn't change it for the world either. I teach the wheel now. I've also done math as well. So just kind of jumped into different things to try different things. And it's just been a nice ride. It's nice to meet all of you.
Hey, thank you, Christy. We kind of want to get an idea of who's in our class right now too. I'm going to try something a little bit different. So in the chat box, instead of everybody just typing all at once, we're going to try to put a little bit order to it and see if K-2 teachers or K-3 teachers can add their school and grade level. We kind of want to get to know who's in our room, and then you can start making some connections with fellow teachers who might be in the same grade level as you. So let's start with that. In the chat box, if you're kindergarten to 3rd grade, can you type your school and your grade level? Okay, a nice mixture, 1st, kindergarten, 2nd, and 3rd grades from different parts of the island. And we have someone from our Kona Pacific Public Charter. Awesome, so glad you're here to join us. Okay, let's try the 4 through 6. So if you're 4 through 6, you can go ahead and add your school and your grade level. I see a lot of 5th grades. Start taking note of names in case you need to network with that person. Okay, great. Let's try middle school teachers, middle or intermediate. Music teachers, okay. Yeah, and if you can add your subject to that, would be interesting for if you're able to. Wow. Cultures, Polynesian dance. Nice. Okay. All right, nice mixture there too. Social studies, some arts classes, the Hawaiian one. That's really interesting. Great. And then let's go to high school teachers. Go ahead and put your school and subject matter. Okay, Bryce at Campbell. Madison Wailua. Wailua. Okay, Bryce, you might be the only hi. All right, this kind of helps us to get an idea too of our mixture and how to break you out into groups should we need to. So thank you. How about support people? You could be counselors, special ed resource, preschool. Can you add that also, please? And you can put your position or what you do. Okay, possibly none at this session. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. We have roughly 30 people in our sessions. So we're going to be putting together a lot of different activities that'll keep you engaged in the class and online. So if we can go to the next slide, please, Shannon. Okay. So we're talking about attendance matters on this slide. I know we've stressed that heavily in schools, and at our school, we have a 96% goal that is always difficult to reach. For our class purposes, though, we can't stress enough how important it is for you to be in attendance at the classes that we have. I know it's virtually, it's online, and sometimes it's easy to get distracted or to be just engaged part ways, but really to get the most of it, and to help you with your portfolios, we strongly encourage you to see if you can attend all 5 sessions. If not, I know we've asked that you attend 4. The one that you don't attend, we do make recordings of, so we're going to definitely have you please watch the video. And it definitely reflects on your portfolios if you don't watch the video. So we strongly recommend watch the videos if you aren't able to attend. As that will help you the most. But to get the most really is to attend the sessions, participate. There's going to be a lot of breakout sessions, online activities as well. So attendance definitely matters. We try our best to respect time, start on time, end on time. Depending on some of the classes, it may end before 2. We shouldn't go over 2, but that's kind of the idea of how long our session should run today. So again, our Wednesday class, our only one Wednesday class is at 7, and that one goes roughly till 9, but the first one will probably, or the only one will probably just go till roughly 8. So just to kind of help you gauge your time for our sessions. So again, attendance matters. We'll be taking attendance regularly on every class session. And the expectation is you attend 4 out of 5. Okay, Shannon, next.
So many of us are familiar with online learning, or what synchronous learning looks like. So on your screen, you should see what your norms. So we try and honor the equity of voice, the active listening, perspective taking, safety and confidentiality, and respectful use of electronics. We're all adults. We all have very busy lives, and we understand, things happen around us. We love to see your smiling faces, but we also understand, if you're a little camera shy and you want your camera up. But try to be an active participant and be respectful of each other and contribute as much as you can, because one of the things we know from our own experiences from taking this class and then facilitating this class over the years is that the more you participate, the more you gain. And I think Jackie and Christy would both agree with me. Every time we teach this class, we learn a new strategy from our participants as well. So just be active, be engaging. Don't be mic shy. Turn your mic on, and just try and contribute as best as you can. And like I said, we know there's technical difficulties that come into play, but type in the chat box, and or we love to hear your voices too. So I'll kind of give you a moment to peruse the synchronous learning, the slide that you see in front of you. Were there any questions on the expectations of the live sessions in terms of participation? Okay. All right. So then we will go ahead and move on. So it's really important to, like I said, we've all got so much going on in our lives. It's really important just to take a moment and identify how we feel, what's going on, where our energy level is at, what's happening for us. On the screen, you will see a mood meter, one of many that are out there. Today, we're going to use the mood meter at the bottom of your screen in your Google Meet. And if you're on a laptop, it will be a little big smiley face emoji, and you can send a reaction. So what I'm going to ask you to do when I say go, actually whenever you want to, if you know how you're feeling, pull up your reactions and give your reactions for today. Are you full of joy and heart? Are you here? Find an emoji from your screen that best fits how you're feeling today. Go ahead. Courtney, was that a question or? I think this is so cool. Everybody sees it's like our Google Meet turned into like an Instagram or a YouTube live session. I love it. So. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I saw one of those too, an unknown. I'm like, the first class always makes me a little nervous, like the first day of school with my students. I still get as nervous as they do, I think. Great, thank you. We're so glad you're with us this morning. Okay, so course successes. So what's required, like Jackie covered, is attending 4 of the live sessions. We really would love you to attend all 5 because you learn so much more by being an active participant in those conversations. Watching it is helpful, but actually living it and doing it, it really strengthens the portfolio. Meaningful portfolio completion. Oh, you got to do captions. Sorry, we all love those things. They're our favorite part of the PD process, but we have to do them. Participate in real time, be here, be involved. And then there's also an online evaluation that's completed in PDE3. I'm going to insert a little blurb here with PDE3. Don't forget to print your transcripts. PDE3 is in the process of switching, and make sure you print your transcripts as you've been taking courses, okay? All right, so highly encouraged. So those were the required 4 online sessions, complete the portfolio with your captions, real-time participation, and then complete the evaluation. What we really encourage you to do is go back and review the recorded sessions. If there was something you're like, that kind of didn't stick well enough for me, go back and watch it again. Complete and turn in your assignments by the due dates. Now, these due dates are flexible, but what we want to avoid is everybody waiting until the very last minute to turn them in because of the PD process, which we'll explain a little bit later. And then be active in your online participation. Okay. And in your slides, you will see some additional resources.
Sorry,
Jackie,
Shannon.
did you-
I didn't know my
Okay.
my mic was on. I said, thank you. Okay, so on this slide is really truly resources and references for you. We go over a lot of things and sometimes you think, oh, where was that information? So you all have access to our overview slides, and on this particular slide 7, again, it's the live session norms that Shannon just went over. There's a part on meaningful reflections. So if you're kind of pondering what is a meaningful reflection, there's a guide there that you can click that link and have more information. Captions is another part that sometimes is a stickler on our portfolios. So you'll notice that on every entry, there's 3 questions. And the easiest way we can answer, or the easiest thing to do is answer that particular prompt that's there. So what is this document? And if you can type your response right there, that would be a big help for us to make sure all the parts are included. Captions is one thing that the PDE3, when they review your portfolios, they are not there to know what the activity was or how it went or what that document is. So that questions for the captions, those questions really give them a picture of what your lesson was or what your activity or entry is about. So again, we can't stress enough, and we'll be talking about it more throughout the course, but really answer those 3 prompts that are there. I know sometimes you look at the captions and they sound very similar, but there are slight differences in them. So if you get stuck as you type your entries, go back to this example of captions link and take a look at what's posted there. Okay, so we also have the Google Classroom link, should you forget what the classroom is. The meeting link will always be the same throughout the class. And then we have something called Did You Knows? Their strategies and techniques. And you'll see that as we do an activity, we tie it back to a did you know, and we give you a little bit more information on that. So again, just additional resources for you. We try to put it in one place to make it easier. Okay, Shannon? Okay, grading. So you'll find as we go through the sessions, you'll have particular portfolio entries to do. When you complete the entry, you submit it to us in Google Classroom and we'll review it. The max points you can get on an entry is 100 points. So if you submit it to us and you look back later and you see that that entry received 100 points, then know that there's no further edits that you need to do. If it's less than 100 points, let's say you had maybe 50 points or 30 points, we usually put in what you need to work on or correct or edit or revise to bring it up to the 100 points. So again, once you submit it, we review it, we send it back to you, look over your points, anything less than 100, that's a flag saying, okay, I need to work on something for this entry. Now you see there's a 50 points where it says modules need to be revised, so please see the comments. That's kind of what I said, but for the comments that we put in, can you make sure not to delete the comments on any of the assignments? The reason is that helps us to track what revisions needed to be made. If you delete them, then it takes so much more longer for us to go back, review it, figure out what that revision was, and it just makes the process a little bit longer. So again, if you see a comment, leave it on there. We'll resolve it for you. We'll mark it complete. Please do not do that. Just look at the comments, see what's mentioned, and then make the revisions that way. So once you receive that full credit, then you don't need to resubmit. So just a heads up on that. So again, 100 points is everything's great on your module, no further revisions. Anything less than that, then there's something that you need to work on. And go ahead into the next slide, Shannon. So for the classroom information, we talked about submitting it after you complete it. When we say turn in your portfolio entry when it's ready, that means basically just submitting it to us. That's our clue that, okay, we need to look over that particular entry. We're not going to go back and kind of look in every single one that's not submitted. We just want you to submit it as a way for us to know that, okay, it's done. Please look over it and we'll give you feedback on it. The deadlines, again, as Shannon mentioned, they're soft dates, but we strongly suggest if you can keep up with those deadlines, it's really been helpful to other participants as well. Knowing that at the end, they're not trying to do 5, 6, 7, 8 modules all at one time. So strongly suggest keep up with the deadline soft dates. Turn it in if it happens to be that you are like 2 or 3 days after that soft date. No worries, still turn it in. We'll accept it. Just avoid trying to do everything at the end. We found oftentimes that when people have all the modules to do at the end, they're not as successful in completing it because their turnaround time is so much shorter. So don't wait to the very end. And at the end of our course, PDE 3 will select portfolios to review. They will just do maybe a handful of portfolios for them to review. If those portfolios pass or are accepted, then everyone in the course passes. So for that final portfolio, you don't have to do anything. We're going to do all that putting together of the portfolio for you. So your job is to just make sure you complete the entries. And then at the end, if your portfolio is selected, we'll take the pieces and put it there for you. Okay, any questions on this part? I know this is a lot of information right now. And you can either chat it or raise your hand or just speak out is fine.
I have a question or comment. I was reading through the course materials, and in one of the areas said that we should make a copy of our work before we submit it to Google Classroom. And then in another part, it didn't say that. So I was just making sure, like, it said something like we might like lose our documents or something. So should we be making a copy before we turn it in?
Anyone wants to comment on that? Shannon and
Sure.
Christy?
That should not be necessary. Can you tell me where you saw that so I can just make sure the language is similar?
Yes, it was in one of the documents in module 1. Let me look and see. It was in the first like module 1. There's like several links, and one of the links was like in the top part had an introduction, like the introduction, and then the bottom it said it had like a little blurb about that, you know, make a copy or whatever, and it was like highlighted and bolded and everything.
Okay, I'll go review those documents in module 1. It should not be necessary. I do know we kind of changed up. We've been evolving the process of module 1, and there is a point in there, and Jackie, correct me if I'm incorrect, if you need to on this. There's a point in there where somebody else, like 1 or 2 of your peers, will be on your document, and it might be referring to that, where just to be safe when your peers review your document, because they will actually be commenting on your document, that maybe that's where that had come from. But we haven't run into a problem. Knock on wood, we won't run into a problem with it. But that's the only thing I can think of why that was in there.
Yeah, thank you, Violet, for letting us know about that. And as Shannon mentioned, this course has been given or delivered for several years now, so there might have been some changes along the way that we missed. And as you mentioned, Violet, about the modules, we apologize because we know some of your entries will say module 1, module 2. Just disregard the module numbers. We've gone through some changes with this particular class. So just don't pay attention to the module, because I know even on that first entry for the philosophy of classroom management, on the actual entry doc, there was something about your module 1 session. So just disregard module numbers completely. Okay, thank you for that question, Violet. Any other questions by anyone? So we will have our contact information at the
Jackie, may
end
I
of the
interrupt? I'm
slide.
so sorry. Just want
Yeah.
to address Cash's comment. Yes, Cash. You should have individual copies of every assignment on Google Classroom. There was something that I think went out a little bit, and somebody sent us a copy already. And we'll address that separately. But everything you should all have. If it's meant to have your own copy, you will have your own copy.
Mhm. And you'll also know that you don't have everything yet for your portfolio, so we'll send it out generally the day before the class happens. You'll be seeing that portfolio entry, with the exception of the philosophy one, only because there's a little bit work that has to be done ahead of time. All right, next, Shannon. Okay, we have here a break, but you can tell me in the chat if you need one or if you feel we can go on. So can you just say, yes, we need a break, or just no? Keep going. Okay. Yes, Sherilyn, that's our goal too. All right, we just wanted to make sure you were all okay and we could keep going. So we will keep going. Seems that most of you don't need a break. So Christy's going to do the next one about joint initiatives.
Okay, so just to explain a little bit of history of where this class kind of how it evolved. I think this is one of like the oldest HSTA classes that's been in place. And what happened was that the Department of Ed, the union, HSTA, as well as our parent union, NEA, they saw that there was a need for more professional development. So that was a little bit of how this became to be. And I think Jackie, I'm gonna like give her a little plug because she was one of them that really spearheaded this class. So we appreciate Jackie a lot. Just so you know, this class again is content knowledge. It's one of those areas where we just really want you to be able to grow and develop your classroom to make it the best it can be. It's going to support Charlotte Danielson. So if you're up for EES, you can always link in to the things that you're doing in this class. It's going to have you, this class is going to let you build relationships with each other. It's such an interactive class where you're going to bring in all the great things that you're doing. You're going to share it so that you're going to have just a bank of activities and strategies to do. So that's why when Shannon was saying we come out always learning something else, it's always great to hear all of you sharing. And then it's going to not only do that, but it's going to bring upon your content knowledge. It's going to be a lot of pedagogical types of skills, and you're just going to be doing a lot of reflecting on the things that you want to improve in the class. So hopefully you're going to enjoy this. Okay, our next slide, we're going to do a KW, what you want to know, what you know and what you want to know about classroom management, so we can kind of see and make sure we can cover some of the things that you want to do. So on the next slide, we have a Jamboard. This is one of the things, if you haven't used it yet, hopefully you're going to enjoy. You can, I think, go on Google and you can just type in Jamboard, but it's a great way to get responses from students and just kind of put it on your Promethean or your board. But what you're going to do is you're going to click on that. That's a link. We'll also put, Shannon's already put the link on there for the Jamboard. So if you go to that, what I want you to do is there's 2 slides on there. You're going to put what you know. Just give me one. You're going to pull a Post-it out on the left-hand side. You're going to, I think there's 5 different things you can do. You're going to pull a Post-it out and you are going to put something that you know about classroom management. And then on the top part there, you can see there's 2 slides. So you're going to click on the right arrow and that one's going to be what you want to learn about classroom management. We will put it in as a share. I'm sorry, it's just view only right now. Let's see if we can fix that. Let me change that.
Thank you, Christy. I'm trying, but I don't think I'm an owner.
We're going to tour. Okay, it should be done. Can you get in there now? Perfect. So the sticky note is the fourth one down. Awesome. Okay, choose your color, whatever you want to do. If you want to just pull it down and put it anywhere on that screen. Kids love, as you guys know, kids love to post their thoughts, and this is just a fun way for them to do it in the classroom. And it gives you a great, just a nice quick view of, again, kind of you can share. They're always excited about sharing. So thank you for adding yours. This is nice. As you guys are posting up, I'm just going to read some of these. But again, what you know already is it's about managing behaviors. It's about the routines and rituals and how that helps manage your class for sure. Organization, productivity. Sometimes, yes, we do need to use different strategies because it's not a catch-all, fit-all for every student. That is so true. Building respect, yes, and trust for sure. Relationships, and we're going to be touching into that definitely soon. Yes, it's a fluid concept of maintaining student attention. Yes. Critical behavior management is critical for maximizing learning and the safety. I'm glad you touched on safety because we are going to be talking about that as well today. This is great. And obviously you're taking this class because, again, you know that just setting them up for success and having that management is definitely going to make your classroom run smoother and get more learning done. So yes, for sure. And then if you haven't done so yet, again, on the right in the middle of the top, if you click to the next frame, it will show you this is what you want to learn about classroom management. So again, if you can post what you want to try take away from this course, that would help us out as well. And then Jackie's going to be addressing this a little bit later as she goes over. We have a slide about the different sessions and what we'll be covering in each of those sessions. Looking for strategies, looking for ways to help students with higher needs. Yes. Increasing more engagement and participation. Elementary level ideas. You're going to get a lot of those. You're going to be able to talk to a lot of the other teachers in here. So you'll be getting a lot of strategies that way as well. Tips for substitute teachers. Ah, yes. Don't they though? The kids, somebody mentioned them turning into Jekyll and Hyde. Oh, I was out last week and yes, had a nice little talk with them about them turning into little Hydes. More strategies, looking for more strategies, mixing it up, trying things new. Yes, hopefully this is just not a class only about new teachers. we like to get a whole mix of the different levels, because definitely you are all going to be bringing in a lot of your own strategies to share. Great. Looks like a lot of you want new strategies to try. Nice. Okay. I'm going to keep going then, if that's okay. Thank you guys for adding your thoughts, and keep adding them if you are still working on it. If you look at the next couple slides, again, we're just giving you different types of charts. I know my elementary teachers, you guys are huge on KWLs. So again, different ways to do that. Even the next one, a little bit less kitty-like, but something that, you know, again, if you've just posted up, easy for students to share what they know and what they want to learn from the lesson that you're providing. Okay, and then we're going to move on to our Did You Knows. Shannon?
So we've come to our first Did You Knows. Could I get somebody to read bell work for us? Did you know number 1?
I don't mind reading. Bell work is a term for an immediate assignment upon entering a classroom. It is designed to focus students on the subject of the class and avoid distracting behaviors. Bell work should be meaningful for students and can be used to review or preview information. Bell work helps you to set the scene for learning for the day. Please expect that you will have bell work each time you arrive to class.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Did anybody notice what our bell work was for this morning? It was delivered through the chat box instead of on the screen. Intros, even before the intros, yes. We took care of the signing in for you, but it was connected to that signing in. Yes, picking your live sessions for attendance. Thank you so much. Yes, so that was your bell work for this morning, is if you hadn't already done so, pick your live dates that you will be attending. And did you know number 2? If somebody could read that one for us, please.
I can read that one. Is that
Thank
the
you.
KW? Know and want to know is a strategy that helps to motivate interest in the content. The strategy allows the teacher to be aware of what the class already knows and what interests them, which might help in planning instruction.
Thank you, Courtney. So, and Christy just covered the did you knows a little bit. So what you know and what you want to know. Okay, and Jackie's going to go over some more about our learning and our course goals of the course.
Yes. So as Christy had you complete the W, or what do you want to learn, I was looking over it, and it seems that learning new strategies really was something that a lot of people want. And I know when I go to workshops too, I'm the same way. Like, show me a strategy, show me what else I can do with my students. So definitely you will get this through the course. We have, for the first bullet, learn effective classroom management and instructional strategies and techniques. So Shannon, Christy, and I are not the experts in classroom management. We don't have that silver bullet. If there was one, that we wouldn't need classes like this, or we wouldn't be needing to learn about how to manage our classroom. So what we are here to do is just share some best practices that we've learned over the years through our own experiences, as well as through other teachers. You'll find that the activities we put you through will be with fellow colleagues. They could be at the same grade level or grade level range as you. It could be in the same content area. But a lot of what we found in other classes is that people say that was the most valuable part, where they could speak with someone who was in that same shoe as them, and then get new strategies that they try in their classroom as well. So you will definitely be learning instructional strategies, whether it's through us or through your colleagues. It's always exciting to try something new and to make things better. We will have a section on looking at rules and routines in your classroom. And I know that is something else that was mentioned in the W, about having those rules, having those routines, so that we can have a positive learning environment. To develop classroom community of learners. I know many of you talked about relationships, how relationships are important with your students. And I read somewhere where they said, well, if they know that you care for them, they'll do anything for you. And I find that so true, where once they know that you care, they're willing to cooperate with you. It's that saying of, no, I can't remember it, but it's not how much you know, but it's really how much you care. And once they know that their value, you care for them, then they're willing to make that effort to learn. Okay, next one. Also, so we have that similar where we acquire techniques and effective use of instruction in classroom arrangements. Looking at how our classrooms are set up. Do we have a good traffic flow? Is it organized well? Can students be independent in that class? And can we obtain materials quickly and effectively? So we will look at that in our course. We're looking at communication styles. And what we refer to as communication styles is really also learning styles. How do my students learn best? And how they relate to successful student, teacher, and parent relationships. Throughout the reading, you'll notice, or throughout the course, there'll be sections on professional readings, which we'll refer to for that particular section that we're doing. So we strongly suggest that you read the research and you reflect on some of the implications. Okay, next. All right, so here is the dates of the class sessions that we have. And again, earlier on, we asked that you sign up for at least 4. 5 is even better. These are the topics that are going to be shared with or shared during that particular session. So for today, actually, it should be the 3 that we have: the overview, the community of learners, and creating a community. The next session is on Wednesday, and it's only one topic, which is the philosophy. So I won't read through each one, but it's just kind of giving you an idea that many of the things you mentioned earlier will be covered in these particular sessions and sections. Okay. And all right. So one of your first assignments is on our next class, which is on Wednesday. We're asking that you bring your philosophy of classroom management. So this course is about classroom management. So we want to know, what is your philosophy of classroom management? Can you go to the next one, Jen? Okay, so what is a philosophy of classroom management? So we get a lot of questions on that as people start writing it, but it's really a statement about your beliefs and ideals that underline your thinking about how your classroom should run, how it should be managed. It's a set of beliefs that often regulate what you do and how you do things in your classroom. And it is a 1 to 2 page document that is clear and concise. So it's not just one sentence, not just a paragraph, but really put some thought into it. It is not a curriculum. It's not a statement or not a curriculum statement or a description of your teaching style. We know your philosophy could affect how you do things and how you teach, but what we're looking for here is really your ideals or your beliefs about classroom management. So we don't want to have you just think about discipline or corrections, but really classroom management involves a whole slew of things. As you saw on the earlier slide, classroom management is about building your community, establishing those relationships. It's also about how you organize your classroom. Do you have rules in your classroom and expectations for the students? What is their best learning style? How is your parent engagement with your families as well? So it's really not, we're not looking for what is your idea about disciplining, but it's really classroom management. Okay, Shannon? All right.
Could I
So,
ask a question
sure.
about that?
Yes.
Sorry. Hi. So for that, I was just looking at it on Google Classroom. Sorry to interrupt you, by the
No,
way.
no, please.
I was looking in Google Classroom, and then I saw that we have the document for that, and we can all edit that one document. So I think multiple of us are on that one right now. Like, are we going to get our own copy of this to do our philosophy?
You should have your own.
Okay, I
In your
believe
Google
we're
Classroom?
able to edit one. Yes, on Google Classroom. The session 2 activities, philosophy of classroom management, that document, right?
Yeah. What can you do on it now? You said you can edit it and everybody
Yeah,
else
I
can
think we can
Yeah.
all go on the document and edit it.
The same document. It could, because it
Yeah,
should be
I
assigned
don't.
so that each one.
I might be mistaken, but I
No,
did.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Tori. I see what you're saying. I will, if everybody could just back off that document, I will go ahead and repost that assignment and make it so that, because it does say student can edit the file, and we should have had it. Every student will get a copy. So I will repost that assignment during our break so that everybody can get on there and have their own copy. Okay,
Yeah, I
thank
had
you for bringing that to our attention.
I had the
Oh,
same
that's
thing,
my
but
bad. Thank
I didn't
you,
add
Tori.
to it because I didn't add my. I did the assignment, but I didn't put it in too because I could see other people were in there editing it too.
Perfect. So
Okay.
if you made your own copy, when it comes time, like after our break, and you open it up and it's, you get a notification from the Google Classroom that it's a fresh assignment in there. If you could, from your own copy, just copy your information that you've already typed in and bring it over into your new version that's your own from the Google Classroom. That would be really helpful. And that'll help us keep track of it easier too. So yeah, thank you guys for noticing all of that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks, Shannon, for making that correction during the break. Yeah, we really appreciate that because I apologize. That's my mistake if that is happening, because it should have been assigned to each student and you shouldn't have been able to edit each other's one. Not quite yet. That step will come later, but for now, just please take a little step aside and we'll fix that up for you. Shannon, can you pop up? I'm so sorry, but do you have that philosophy document, the entry one?
Give me 1 second, Jackie.
Okay. Or I can actually share it if not. Oh, probably better if you do though. Thank you, Shannon. I apologize. So as you see at the top, August 30th is when this particular part should be done, where you bring your philosophy of classroom management with you to the next session. We're going to fix this part up with the modules before you get the final copy so that it doesn't confuse you further. But when you come to the August 30th session again, please bring this completed module with or completed entry with you. You'll notice that this particular entry is broken up into 3 parts. So part 1 is what you'll be completing between now and the next session that we have you on Wednesday, which is talking about your classroom management philosophy. When you come to that session on Wednesday, there's the part 2 that you'll be working on. So Shannon, if you can scroll a little bit, please. Okay, and you can go on to part 2. Oh, okay. So in part 2, when you come back, your partner will be giving some comments to you. And then in part 3, which you'll complete after the course or after the class, you'll be giving some reflective feedback to what your partner had mentioned in their comments after reviewing your philosophy. So I'm so sorry, but can you scroll back up, Shannon, to the top of the page where it has captions? Okay, so again, right here at the top where it says captions, this is what you'll need to answer. And type directly here, this document is, and type your response. The document is evidence because, type your response, and what is it evidence of? So again, please type your responses right there. Scroll a little bit down, Shannon, some more, keep going. Okay. And keep going a little bit right here. So the top part says philosophy of classroom management. It says to add your name, so please do that right there, and then add the date that you're working on your philosophy. When you're ready to put your philosophy together, type it right in this space here. So don't try to
Lauren,
attach a
Maureen?
document.
Could we ask you, thanks for showing the example.
Okay, so again, type your philosophy right in the document. Don't try to link it, just type directly in this document for us. All right, any questions on this? Now I know some of you, if you aren't able to make it to class 2 or session 2, then you're wondering, well, what do I do? Because then my partner won't be here or someone won't be here and they won't be able to review my philosophy. So we'll have that worked out where we'll be partnering you up with someone so that you can complete that section of the course. But again, we will be assigning you the partners, so don't worry about who is going to be your partner. We will do that part for you. All right, any questions on the philosophy? Okay. All right. So Shannon, if you don't mind going back to the slides. So the last slide, really, you can go one more, Shannon, is just our contact information. Throughout the course, you may have questions or you may have, concerns or not sure how to do something. Please reach out to us. We have our email contacts up there. Feel free to message or email us, and then we'll get back to you to support you with the process. So again, anytime questions, please reach out to us. This is again on your slide, so if you forget where the information was, just go back to this overview slide that has all the information on it. Okay, we are done with pretty much the overview part. We have 2 other parts that we're going to be doing after this, but we do want to give you a break because I know you've been sitting for almost an hour. If you have questions, you're welcome to ask us during the break if you didn't want to ask it earlier. So stay around is fine, just for maybe 10 minutes, and then come back and join us for the next part of the training. So we do have 2 more sections in this particular session that we need to do yet. So a 10-minute break,